Hello, I am Daganus from Skyrim Nexus, and this is my ninth tutorial in the Skyrim creation kit, and today we shall be covering traps and ambushes. Ambushes and traps work in very similar instances, but with obviously different results, but they're essentially almost identical in a sense. And as always, what you want to do is press File, Data, make sure Skyrim.esm is checked, and the dungeon you're working with is checked as well, and make sure the dungeon is an active file. Let it all load as usual and press yes to all the warnings. There should only be a couple, none of them are game breaking or even make any sort of difference. So what we want to do is add certain places where enemies will be activated, so they're not already just there waiting for you. It sort of gives them a bit more realism. So what you need to do is that Bethesda thankfully have made several warehouse interiors with all the data we'll need, so we don't have to go through one by one. We can just go through and pick what we want, and they're located in the cell view under interiors in warehouse. So if you just type in warehouse with the inside of this box selected, and these WA markers here, names are warehouses, and you just want to find, for now we're just going to put an ambush down. So double click on the ambush and yes to all, and we'll come up with a big room. One thing of note is in my ambience tutorial I forgot to go over cobwebs, which is silly of me, but this is here is a cobweb door, so to speak, the ones you have to hack through. Obviously they're black here, but they're a silvery white colour in game. And after this tutorial I'll make a quick tutorial adding these cobweb door things and cobwebs to the game. But for now obviously we're just going to stick to ambushes. I'll get to the point. And you've got a variety, a plethora, as you will, of ambushes going on here. Obviously that big one there is to do with the spiders that come down when you enter these blue boxes. Now I'm just going to quickly describe what these are. For example, here you've got the Draugr. If you just double click there, you can see Draugr ambush, and there's the sarcophagus. And what happens here, this is sort of a chain of events. You place this box in your dungeon. As soon as the player character wanders through this box into it, it tells the marker here, which is the enemy NPC, to activate, and this enemy NPC is connected inside this sarcophagus. So when you start the level up, he or she is already in the sarcophagus, and when you walk through this box it will activate the NPC to come alive and activate. And this little orange segment here is where the lid will come when he opens, and this little area is where the NPC will come out of. But for our dungeon, as we don't really have much room, to be honest, we're going to use the standing up sarcophagus, which is this one over here. As you can see, you press, if you click on the ambush marker, which is the M with the arrow, it will show what it is linked to. So I'm going to, you want to click on that left, make sure you're holding down on control, then click on the blue box, click on the sarcophagus, click on the lid of the sarcophagus, sorry, because it comes in two pieces, and you want to make sure you click on the little legs bit there. That just tells where the NPC where to go, essentially. Now you've got them all selected. What you want to do now is just right click, copy, and go back to your dungeon you're working on, which is the small dungeon, AA test dungeon. And then just go to where you want to place this. So I'm actually going to place it here, and as you can see we've got all the essential pieces we need. I'm just going to line it up the floor so it's not there, And for now, essentially what I want to do is you want to drag this blue box, which is called a primitive, a trigger of sorts, and you just want to place it where it will be activated. So as soon as the player walks through this door, enters this box, the whole chain of events will start. Now I want this primitive box to cover the whole doorway. So if you press 2 and you've got these arrows here, you can just drag and drag. You want to make sure you cover your bases, as it were, so the player has no choice but to walk through. So that's selected. You can move the enemy marker anywhere you wish, really, as long as it's near the object. It doesn't really matter, because as soon as the game starts, it'll spawn in the object, but you don't want it to be within another object. So I just want to highlight those 3 and just swivel it round, holding down the right mouse button, and just place him there. Just lower it slightly. You can place it where you want, really. It's really up to you, entirely up to you. But just for instances of this, I'm just going to place him there. You can use a laying down tutorial if you laying down sarcophagus if you think it looks better. But I'm just putting it standing up for now. And now we have the enemy marker. What you want to do is double click on it, and it has Draugr ambush melee. What you want to do is go to leveled actor, go to level modifier, and as this is going to be a boss character, you want to put very hard, or hard, it depends on what you want to do. Now we want to make it a Draugr boss and not a Draugr ambush, so what you want to do is press on control and hold on control, and then press F. Excuse me. And eventually it will come up with a box, hopefully. Playing ball. Come on. And there we go. Search and replace. That's what you want. The search for is what's already there, and the replace is what you want to change it with. So I'm just going to change it to level Draugr boss male. So it will come up with a Draugr overlord. Their screams. Right. So we've done that bit. Now what we want to do, what I'm going to do is add 2 more into the main area. Bethesda recommend you don't, it's a general rule of thumb, you don't add anything to the first, any enemies to the first room, just in case people have less capable computers and load in and they're dead. But this is sort of a loophole. With these triggers and primitive boxes, it sort of circumvents that theory because they're only activated when you pass through them. And as the spawn point is up here, I'll make the trigger here, so the player will always spawn there or in this radius, and so the enemies won't attack them. So what we're going to do, we're going to back to the traps box, traps warehouse. But not traps, sorry, ambushes. And we want to find the alcove ones, which are right next to the sarcophagus, which is just these ones here. So you go ahead and click those 3. If you're unsure which ones are connected, just click on the ambush marker and it will show you which ones they're connected to. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and go back to our test dungeon. I'm just going to go and right click, paste. Now I'm just going to move this marker here and just press 2 and just resize it to make sure it covers everything. So once again the player has to walk through this and it will activate the enemies. So you can go ahead and just place the alcove marker where you want for this tutorial. I'm just going to place one there. And what this does is the enemy will spawn sort of as it's sort of like semi in the ground. I'll just place one there. Raise that a little bit so it's above ground. Make him a difficult medium, sorry. Because there's only going to be 3 enemies in this dungeon. Yeah, I don't want to make it too easy. So highlight the ambush marker. Sorry, sometimes the mist gets in the way whilst you're trying to get things done. So I've got those 2 highlighted. I'm just going to Control D to duplicate and then just move it out of the way. I'm going to place this one just over here. Just move him out of the way a bit. Now what you want to do is double click on the ambush marker, go to linked ref, and it would already be linked to the one that we duplicated it from, so you just want to go ahead and delete that one, double click in the box, press select reference in render window and click on the new alcove. Okay, and then what you want to do is activate parents, right click new, or just double left click, selecting reference window, and then just select the blue primitive box. Okay, now we have it. So as you can see, this blue primitive box is connected to both these markers, who in turn are both connected to their alcove markers. Now as soon as the player walks through here, these 2, as the boss is, will be activated. That's all fantastic. So we've done ambushes there, so I'm just going to go ahead and save. And a quick note before I do traps, sometimes you'll notice your companion will talk. We'll just say the odd line here and there. That is done through another primitive, and what you want to do is find the default primitive box. Now most of these interiors will have them, it's just a matter of going through them and finding them. So if you just go into a random one and type default, until you find the one you want. So I'm just going to pause it just for now, and I'm back. So usually when you use the, what we're looking for is this, the default WI comment trig. Now with triggers and primitives, I'm not sure if it works with everyone, but with me I have to go into a different